style.
They got a whole nice little ensemble. She must got a little flair to her.
Yeah, she definitely got a little style, man. So I just need to know, vote or choke. Like, where did that come from? Like, where did that come from?
All right, cool. So where the concept came from, it's simple. It's nothing hard. It's just vote on what's right or just simply choke on what's not right. And that's just that. Ooh. I mean, you know, we're all adults here. We know right from wrong. And I just feel like if you're one of those people out here that has such a passionate opinion, then do something about it. Don't just have an opinion. Put forth the effort towards it. You know what I mean? And even if, because you can do stuff.
I think for me, what caught my attention when she came to me about the concept for the shirt, George Floyd. A black man laying on the concrete being choked out for walking down the street, walking out of a gas station. So if we don't say anything now, then he died for no reason. He was choked out and chomped out for no reason. So I think that's where we're really at with it. But definitely, because I feel like a lot of people right now are sitting here telling us voting don't matter, your vote don't count. If you think that, then you definitely gonna choke and look real sad this coming election.
So it sounds like to me that you two feel it's a necessity thing going on. Like, y'all feel like it's a need to stand up for something. And actually, I want to applaud your efforts, man, because this is super dope. For one, the design, by any means necessary, caught my attention. What made y'all put by any means necessary on the shirt?
Oh, man.
On the sleeve at that.
So, when we first shot for the boutique, it was in New York City.
Okay.
Some random way, we ended up in Harlem, New York.
Random.
So y'all felt the vibe.
Random.
Y'all felt that Renaissance vibe.
Okay. So then we got out of the car. Not to mention I got a $100 parking ticket in Harlem. But that's the side note. The same day, because we thinking that everything going wrong. But we got out of the car and we looked, and they had the Historic Center for Harlem, New York City. And on the sign, it was a picture of Malcolm X, and it said by any means necessary, and she flipped out. She was like, I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
That's it. Because I was already fed up with New York at that day, because we just,
that ticket.
Yo, we was like, with nobody helping us, like they cussed us out before we got, not to say New York, I love New York. Let me just say that. But they definitely give you the F-bomb before you get your coffee. I'm just saying. That's a joke.
You caught my attention, though, because you said something about standing up, making a change. Like, my brother right here is doing the same thing, you know, and
we're very proud of you.
Like, I don't know if y'all know, but he's gonna tell y'all a little bit about what he got going on, because I don't know if you know he's running for a district seat at this moment.
Holy crap! I like that. Say it again.
Yeah.
Say it again, because it just feels good.
Yeah. So
tell them where they can go and where they need to vote and all that stuff. Man.
Right, for sure. One, let me commend y'all, because you know, getting in this process. So I'm running for County Council District 3, but the way that it came to be was not so much that I had an intent to run, but you know, I spoke at a March for Change put on by Raymond Wilson.
Right.
And so when
were you the keynote at that one?
No, I think he had another keynote, but I probably was one of the more influential, powerful speakers at that, you know, at that march. So anyway, in the speech, I was saying that we got to get out and vote, but also that's not even enough anymore. You know, voting's not even enough. We need good people to go out and run. And I said, y'all go out and run, and I'll vote for y'all. Like, we gotta just stop. Like, voting is like the bare minimum, and we're not even making that. You know, but it's a lot more that we can do in the political process. And really, what we're talking about is actively getting into protecting our community, actively getting into protecting our generations that come before us. By making conscious decisions now, you know what I'm saying? And that's so powerful. And so I was saying, y'all go run, I'll vote for you. But in the turn, it just so happens that Najma Thomas and Daryl Orridge, we were sending out letters to the county council to try to get some things that really impact in our community. The crime rates, how much times, you know, being black, you might get pulled over 12, 14, 15 more times likely. So we wanted to address those things. Instead of responding to her, they called her boss and like hit her with a silence letter, you know what I'm saying? So she was like, I wish somebody would run. She was like, why don't you run? And I was like, I'll run, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what's necessary, and there it was going forward.
I like that, man.
Can you tell us what that means? Like, what position are you running for? Because a lot of people, they hear what you're saying, like districts and school and all that. What position does that put you in? That's what I want to know.
So very important. Great question for one. Yeah, so a lot of people are looking at the big presidential national election, Trump, Biden, whatever that may be, and even though that's important, it's not going to be as impactful as your local election.
Thank you.
So at the end of the day, whatever decisions happen up at the top in the federal government, these are independent sovereign states. So your local elections are going to hold the majority of factors that's going to impact your roads, your schools, your bills, your hospitals, all that local stuff. That's big, and people kind of just bypass it. So I'm in a county council. So so you got Beaufort City Council, you got Beaufort County Council. Because I live on St. Helena, which is an unincorporated, it's unincorporated, you know, so we really don't have representation as far as the city. Like the mayor really doesn't even represent us because we're incorporated. People don't know that. So our only representation would come out for our county council, which is our local general election.
Cool. I also wanted to add in there that the voter choke also wasn't just about the injustice and police brutality. It's also about the time when the pandemic hit. I wanted to put that, actually, that really hit me first before George Floyd, because you know that happened first. I said his name. I get him mixed up. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I just get so many names.
Man, it's
so many names. Like I'm like, oh my god, I don't know who to call out anymore. So, but definitely, just think about how when this pandemic happened, right? How even then the country did not want us to use our voice. Then, by not telling us, you know, or in the proper way. You know what I'm saying? They just try to hush us up, like, just okay, don't worry about it. You know, just we'll figure it out. You know, and it's just like, no, you cannot. These people, and I'm talking about EMS. I'm talking about the hospitals, the doctors. Thank you guys. This is a shout out to them as well, because they did something that I'm being so glad to. If I had to choose between my family or someone else's, for me, it's my family. They didn't do that. They couldn't. They couldn't. Like, I literally witnessed a lady cry and said, I cannot go home and hug my baby tonight and kiss her because I am on lockdown. I have to stay at this hospital until they figure it out. I have to stay here. As a woman, the one thing you want to do at night is to make it home to your family. You feel me? And it's it's not just about the evilness, that it's about the good stuff too. What about those heroes that said, what about the grocery store, people at Walmart? Like, it's so easy to say, you know what? I get paid $10 an hour. I don't have to be here. I don't have to be, I can go.
Facts. I mean, even on my road, Folly Road, Mrs. Freeman passed. Lost her life. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, this stuff is real.
It's real.
You know what's really frustrating about, I love the voter choke. You know what I'm saying? I love the voter choke. And I'm gonna tell you what's really frustrating. Let's get honest for a second. We not taking part in the voting process, and we haven't been taking part in the voting process for a long time. Right. Now, that's the history of it. We had literacy tests, the KKK, lynching, so killings. People were literally like scaring people off of the polls with violence. So we understand that it's not like we just stopped voting. There was good reason, but that being put to the side now in 2020, we got to get to the polls, man. Because if you're not gonna go vote, you are on George's neck. You know what I'm saying? If you're not gonna vote, your finger's on the trigger that shot a mod. Because if you're not gonna use your voice to make a difference, if you're not part of the solution, you're most definitely part of the problem. How do we have the right to vote in 2020 and we won't? I had a young boy tell me, I don't believe in the process. You shouldn't, because it doesn't work with people with a mentality like you. It doesn't work. You shouldn't believe in the process if you're not gonna go out and use your constitutional right to make a change in your world, in your community. How as a person, knowing that at some point in time, your little sister, your little brother, your son, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna be impacted by the decisions you make, and you made an indecision. That was your decision, not to decide, not to do anything,
not to have any say in it, and that's part of the plan. So once you already decide that you're not gonna vote, they got you. That was part of their plan. So
when I ask my generation, "Are you gonna vote?" the main feedback that I get, and I honestly get it back from my fellow guy friends, is, "What does that have to do with me? What does that put in my pocket?" And I'm like, "Wait, huh?" That's I get that feedback all the time. Is, what does that have to do to me, for me, and what does that put in my pocket?
Real quick, that makes perfect sense though, because that's exactly what everybody said with COVID until somebody dies. That's the mentality of most people. What does it have to do with me until it actually impacts you.
Right.
It's a selfish, self-serving. And you know what I'm saying? That's selfish. Vote a choke, man. If you're not gonna go out there and vote, just choke yourself, my guy.
Okay.
Just choke on the word. Like at the end of the day,
So
like we don't have a conversation. And I also want to conversate about. Okay, I don't know how honest I can get on here.
Drop it.
You sure? All right, because to you foreigners that are here and you allowed to be here and you still do not participate in voting.
I see what you're saying. I never. Really
we have foreigners that are allowed to be here. They are citizens. They are whatever the terms are. You are a citizen. You're allowed to, and they still do not vote because they don't get involved. Now I won't say all of them, but I do know a good bit that's like, listen, I just came here to do what I got to do, and I don't want no trouble.
It's not good enough.
And I get that. I get you don't want trouble. I understand that. I'm not in your shoes. I don't know, but is that right? Because you're getting our benefits. What she has to do to go to school versus what a foreigner has to do to go to school, that's here on their papers. It's two total different things. Y'all know that, right?
Well,
like you do know that that's like literally like she's gonna pay more than what somebody from another country. And again, I I don't want to be rude or I don't want to be disrespectful, so don't take that in any. But just in my opinion, if you're here and you are allowed to be here, why can't you participate as well? Because you don't want trouble.
You should, because ultimately, if you're here, you hear of somebody else's participation. You know what I'm saying? We talk about civil rights and women's rights. All these rights comes off of somebody who didn't have them. All these rights come from somebody who lived a life without those and who fought and struggled without those. And probably towards the end of their life, when they couldn't even use them, hopefully they got to see a better day. So the fact that you just wake up with this idea that you don't have to do anything, I can't understand it. I can't grasp it.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I've had my ways where I felt how I felt about voting. I'll be completely transparent, y'all. There's times where I was hyped up behind elections and people, especially when I lived in Orangeburg, and I was like, say like my boss man, Mr. Jenkins, ran, and I made it a point to make sure I voted because I know this is a good guy. He can get in and handle business. I think a lot of people that don't ever even venture into politics, especially, let's say, some people who aren't from here. I don't think they know sometimes how important it could be, or I don't think a lot of them really know about how local seats or, certain people in certain districts can affect what they're actually going through. I think a lot of people, and I'm just speaking for, I've heard a lot of opinions before being a barber, man. Standing behind a chair, I got a lot of different opinions in my mind, but I have to also consider those other opinions to understand other people, because mine is one thing, but I have to go over here, because if I don't go over to the other side, I don't think that I could even interest them in what, might benefit them on my side. They might, if I can break it down or meet them halfway, I might can get them to understand me a little bit. So there was times where I felt like, okay, one vote may not make a change. I went through a situation with that, and I guess it was because what happened to me, my first voting time out, it was like I was 18 and I voted for Gore. And I don't know if people remember what happened when it was like a lot of
the recount.
Yeah, it was so crazy that I'm young, man. At this point, I'm so militant thinking. That was me. I was a young militant dude. I was like,
stole the election.
They ain't gonna do. Yeah, they stole the election. They gave it to Bush. They don't care about us. So see, it took me some years to even calm down and then get ready. I was like, okay, so I voted for Obama. We felt that initial joy. I don't know if a lot of soul brothers thought the movement was over when Obama came in, and then we stopped fighting for what we was fighting for, or we got lazy or something. But during that situation, I kind of watched the country going through some things, and then I was like, okay, so this next president got to be a little bit different. I was like, I think Obama did his thing, but of course, it's going to be some pressure that we don't ever see, that we don't ever know. When the soul brother try to get something put through, I was watching somebody diss him. They was doing all these comparisons like, oh, Obama didn't really get this done, but Trump got this done. Or Obama didn't do this, but Bush got this done. What people don't understand is he's going to have to jump through so many more hoops.
Just because of this.
Just because of just the plain old skin color and having an African-American wife in the White House. Things are going to be rougher on him. But I feel like he did a damn good job at representing a black man, a man, period.
And did it fearfully.
I mean,
and did it fearfully.
Listen, I give him all my respect just because he fearfully did it and he did it with class every time.
Yeah.
No scandals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
gotta do that.
if anything, he gave us power as a black man. I don't give a damn what they calculate or what they say he didn't do.
So
oh, shout out this bracelet too, because you know I forgot that. Yeah, we forgot. Y'all forgot to explain the whole drip. Y'all know Joha's Bazaar. Hold up. We got political, but I need to go back. Okay. My bad. Joha's Bazaar. Where does this come from? I need to know.
You want me to start?
Since we sporting out Joha's Bazaar right now, I need to know.
Joha Bazaar.
Joha, I was saying it wrong. I'm all trying to be correct and I'm wrong. Joha. I like that.
I'm gonna talk about New York again because New York plays a big part.
New York set a lot of stuff off.
Boy, I don't know what was going on. So I took my first quarantine trip with Bree to New York City to meet her family and just hang out with her.
Hey family.
As soon as we got off the plane, we were thinking about money.
Okay.
So you walking around the concrete jungle, I'm thinking about money. I'm always thinking about money, by the way.
Okay.
So so we get out the plane. Yes, sir. So we get out the plane and we are at her cousin's house.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm at my niece's house.
At her niece's house. And I'm like, well, let's flip this little apartment, turn it to an Airbnb. Then we ended up going out shopping. I didn't spend over $1,000 in New York because I didn't know clothes was that cheap out there. This is my first time going as an adult.
I was like, "Lo, this is only one spot. Relax, we still got so many more to go."
Bree was like, "Yeah, this stuff's super cheap. We should start a boutique." Sooner or later, boutique turned into brand. And we came back home and we were trying to figure out a name. And I was like, let's combine our last names together because I ride hard for Jones.
I go hard for Harris.
Super hard for Harris.
Biden Harris.
So,
I mean, hello.
Jones is from my last name and Harris is her last name. But then it gets deeper because we look in the Bible and Joha is in there. And so Joha actually means one who gives life or one who enlivens.
Hello. If that's not day and night, right?
Does that not parallel somewhat of how 2/3 kind of got going? It's crazy, but when you connect the dots,
for sure,
things kind of. Let me say something. A lot of people fear connecting dots.
Yeah.
I've had about four sessions this week, and through them all, there was an underlying fear through all 4 of the people that I worked with this week, and it was fear of connecting dots. See, some people look at those dots. But because they're not all connected, they can't see the picture. The people that actually benefit is the people that see the picture before they even connect the dots. So when you start to go and you take that thing from that first dot, you can mess up if you go here or you go there. But you cannot be afraid of that. Because the thing is, you can go back down. And then you can take another route and you can try to develop that picture. So like, I applaud y'all for connecting dots. You know, Willie and I did that.
Cool.
The whole 2/3 of man, we were having a discussion about simply not feeling whole. Why don't we feel whole sometimes? You know, we were really texting each other, but we was doing therapy. Like, he going through something, I'm going through something, we helping. Hey, you got to do that. When you see your bro down, you can't just be like, oh, he's straight.
And I love
Don't
that.
Don't just do that all the time, man. Sometimes he ain't straight.
I must say, like, I love that in men because men don't feel like I won't say because I'm not a man, so I shouldn't say it like that, but I love when I see a man say, I'm calling my bro to check up upon him today to make sure he's all right. And y'all are showing unity and you're like, hey, you're my bro. I'm here for you. Like, I love that because I feel like that's going to push other guys to be there for your mans. You know, it's not always about being there for him in the high point of his life. What about at the down point? You know, like you teach him something or, you know, because that's why God created people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how do you feel about the women? You feel like soul sisters do that?
Definitely.
Do you feel that from your friends?
From my personal friends, yes. Because that's how
I mean, you got the right friends.
I have the right friends. I definitely feel, with no doubt in my mind, I have the right crowd of friends around me.
Well, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, one of the controversial thoughts.
Come on with it. Come on with it, man.
So, listen, I'm all about. So you know when I spoke on a radio station, one thing I said was we need representatives that's not just going to represent people who are voting.
Okay.
Because a lot of people have given up on the process. A lot of people who need us the most either have some kind of charge they can't vote, some kind of restriction, some kind of barrier they can't vote, or even if it's a mental barrier where you just don't believe anymore. So I was like, we gotta. But now I'm playing devil's advocate. And I'm gonna just drop this. We always talk about somebody selling out, switching, what may have you.
Okay.
But let's look at the campaign I ran this year. I didn't per se go and try to gather a lot of votes throughout the whole collective community. I kind of just rock with my people. Like, this is what I want to do. Now, it's a tougher campaign, but let's say all points being equal, I don't get through, I don't get elected, I don't get enough participation from my community.
Okay.
Next year, this community who looks a little lighter than me or a little different than me comes and supports me and gives me all the votes I need to get in.
Okay.
Right? Who do I owe? Who should my allegiance be to? Should it be to the community that I wanted to get me in that couldn't? Or to the community that got me in that I probably shouldn't?
I think that occurs in a lot of situations in politics. Because a lot of time your own won't want to acknowledge the light in you for the fear that they may never be able to shine like you, or either they don't want you to shine because they wish it was them, or whatever it is that has them to where they don't want to support you. But what I have kind of figured out is in politics that happens, and the person is human when they do switch sides. I'm not saying that I personally would do it. Right. I'm not saying that I personally might get caught up in that wave. I feel like sometimes the journey be so long that if I've been on this journey already, I might stay true to the game. But I can't say that I'm gonna be happy about it.
Here's my question.
I can't say that I'll be happy about it.
Are you switching sides? Let me give you a little
Am I switching sides?
If previously you ran on your community, they didn't get you in.
That's right.
4 years later, another community
who
supports you,
they saw you fighting,
campaign,
saw you working.
Like Jamie Harris, this $1 million campaign is not supported by black people. Let's be honest. That's not a $1 million black people campaign. That's true. Right? But that's neither here nor there. Not to say that you can't accomplish things. It's not a color issue sometimes. Right? Now, that being said, different community gets you. Who do you owe your allegiance to? And that's the question. We can't really criticize politicians for making decisions if we're not supporting. You know what I'm saying? Now, once you vote for that person, you put them in, we got expectation. But if you're not putting them in, is his expectation really to you or the person that put him in?
That's true.
I mean, but at the end of the day, you got to understand, just for the sake of devil's advocate, one vote is not going to carry your whole political run, right? So I'm here, I'm supporting you as a black man. You can't be mad at me because my one vote didn't get you in there. True. So I feel like at the end of the day, you still owe me because I'm supporting you. I'm your community. I'm supporting you. And if I really support you, I'm going to support you when those lighter skinned people are supporting you too. Because
let's look at Yeezy for a second. Let's look at Yeezy for a second. If we gonna do it, let's do it. Because I feel like these things run a little bit parallel.
Let's look at Yeezy.
Because I have a thing with Yeezy. Come on.
The way I'm looking at this situation is, let's just say, why do you think so much backlash and so much fire heat came down on Yeezy? Because we was there with Yeezy. I'm a college dropout buyer, and all I can say is I was there from the beginning, and these things did things for me. It was soulful music. I'm almost done, but it was soulful music. It moved me, right? So what happened with Kanye's music is I formed a bond with him. I started to love him. I was supporting what he was putting down because it was motivating me to go hard, right? Now, when he went to the other side... when he went to the other side,
let's be clear, it's not wrong. It's not wrong.
Vote for Yeezy.
Y'all have to get him on our shirts.
I'm gonna have to choke for Yeezy. All I'm saying is when he went to the other side, though, I still love him though. I watch him. I'm still supporting. But the thing is, inside of me, deeply, do I really wish that he still was making soul music? Yeah, but I ain't mad at him for it because it's his life, and he elevated. He went to somewhere else. So like. I think some people need to get off the bullshit. Like, don't be mad.
Rock with Yeezy, man.
Don't be mad if your politician that you might have supported is now handling business
because
somewhere else. Because he's also
can I say that it was fair that Trump was initially a Democrat, right?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so
Trump do whatever get the money.
Right, period. Trump but we're talking about switching sides.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I mean?
All right, let's go there. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, maybe at one point. Like how you was just saying, what if Trump had that mindset you was, maybe I'm trying to push for Democrat, and I'm noticing my people not even pushing for me. But I'm not saying that's the story.
But it is.
But I'm saying, and then he finally, he's going hard, and then he sees somebody that scouted him and was like, that man might got something going on. So I'm going to just take my chance, and I'm going to, you know what I'm saying, go with him. And now, it's just Trump. So he's going to go with the side that, of course, is going for him. Anybody that's giving him the attention, he's going to go for it because you're giving me the attention. You're giving me the hype. So now I got to move because they're down in my hype. They're not hyping me up. It's just like these shirts. We put a lot of effort in it. And then we go tell our people, hey, look, matter of fact, we're going to give you these shirts for $10 if you show us your sticker. Show us your sticker. And they still don't do it. You know, it kind of hurt because it's like not only I was so passionate to put something for you because it's nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? But it's for you to pass on and to have something memorable. And, you know, we want you to just elevate. And then you tell me you don't do it because it's not you. It's not what you believe in. But I got somebody over here that's supporting me. That's in a whole nother.
Okay. So do you think that Kanye jumped ship? Do y'all think that Kanye jumped ship because he didn't feel supported by us?
No, it can't be because we was the main supporters ever since.
That's what I
think he jumped ship. Honestly, you asked me. Listen, I think he jumped ship because he wanted to see what that other side might be like.
Okay, got you. I want curiosity.
Sometimes you gotta get
in.
Sometimes you gotta see what it's like to be on that side. Well, maybe it's gotta be something because these people got. First of all, it's all about results, and these people got results. It's just period.
I think it's two different scenarios. I'm gonna say it's two different
scenario
hypotheticals, right? So, scenario one, you rocking with somebody.
Okay.
And that person you rocking with elevates you to a level. Then you jump off and rock with somebody else because you feel like they can take you higher.
Okay.
That's Kanye. I ain't rocking with that. You know what I'm saying?
So you think Kanye did that? And who did he rock with?
I'm going to say it like
you
this.
You think that he ruled us till he couldn't no more? And then it was like...
Absolutely. Kanye was a producer for a long time.
Right.
But wasn't really like a hit.
Right.
He was getting money though.
The reason why he wasn't a hit record maker because a lot of his music was more consciously developed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
From his own his own mouth.
Right.
So to get to that next level, he had to banish some of his conscious music, throwing a little Ghost Rider, throwing a little following the trends, and in that he kind of lost himself and became the monster we know as Kanye today. Now that's like if you got a girl and you with that girl and she take you all the way to this precipice, this level, and then you get there. Now you want to drop her for this next. I ain't feeling that. Like that's not the scenario I'm talking about. Don't ride me to the top, and then when you get there, discard me. I'm more or less talking about if you the girl that ain't riding with me. You know what I'm saying? The girl that you're not digging me because I'm washing the dishes and I got a Honda and it's got a little scratch on the side with a black wheel on the back because you ain't rocking with me, but I'm going hard. Now now if another girl come and see, like you say, oh man, I see his drive. I'm gonna push him. When I get there, right? Do I owe you anything? You know what I'm saying?
Hell no.
But so my question is, but does Kanye owe us anything? Because in my opinion, no. My thing is like where I don't. And for me, for Kanye, you know, people go hard on him because, like, again, he's just very opinionated with his mouth and Trump, okay, whatever. He says he has word vomit.
Yeezy does the outbursts though.
Yeezy is a word vomit kind of guy. But at the same time, I'm looking at it like, did he just elevate or did he trade against his people? Because I don't see where he traded against his people. I see elevation in my point. I mean, he sat down with an op, okay, for people, but is it really an op? You know, like
I'm not really mad at him for sitting down with Trump. I'm not mad at Ice Cube for sitting down with Trump. I'm not mad at Ice Cube and I'm not mad at Yeezy. Let me tell you what.
Okay.
We got to send somebody up there to do the negotiating.
Exactly.
I mean, somebody got to get the negotiating.
So when you say music quality, y'all are saying the gospel from going.
No, the gospel was dope to me. I ain't mad at
him.
I ain't mad at the gospel. What I'm saying is when I started to listen to them songs, sweetheart.
Which ones?
Everything after. Everything. 808 and Heartbreak was already going a little fool.
And now, mind you, we are also talking about somebody who is emotionally unstable. Now we got drugs involved.
When your mama died, everybody gonna be unstable if their mama died.
He got
I had demons, bro.
The album he dropped was solid.
Which one now.
College dropout?
Oh yeah, the
course,
whole
I love
thing.
that.
Late registration, bro.
Late registration was sick. The whole album though.
Listen,
once you
yeah. That's where it started to change.
You started losing.
That's where it started changing.
I'm like,
But now, what if it was him?
Homer tried to bring it back.
But my thing is,
he lost his soul.
but what if it wasn't really changing? What if it
was?
wasn't really changing? What if it was him trying to adapt? Like, okay, this is what the younger kid. This is what kids are. Because like maybe he's trying to touch a certain type of, I don't know what you say, genre, group or something. Maybe he's looking at it like, okay, I'm noticing this crowd of people react a little bit better when I put out this versus this crowd acting better. Now, this crowd acting this way when I put out that.
It's the sold out shows. His whole concept was mostly.
I understand that, but maybe now he probably reached a point where it's not about the shows no more. Now I want to reach people. I want to go towards something that I can make. Because for me, I think Kanye is more so like, I'm ready to change. Now I want to see some change. Like, it's not just about what.
Okay, let me ask you this. You made it. You Yeezy.
Okay.
Let's pretend you Yeezy right
Yeezyana, what's
now,
up?
You done came up to the people.
Yeezyana.
You done came through the people, right?
Okay.
You made it. You feel like you made it, but it don't feel like you made it. When you thought you made it, you ain't really made it. All the hate coming down, you feeling like, I'm getting lost in the sauce. You start trying new things.
Okay.
You do a couple of wild slip ups. You go on stage with Taylor Swift. You say some wild stuff. You kind of let loose, but you really don't know who to talk to. You crumbling, right? Fast forward. You where Yeezy is now. The thing that you used first to reach the most people, the thing that got you started, is there ever a time when you feel like you need to come back there if you get lost? One of my classmates just posted today, the issue is sometimes you need to come back home.
Definitely.
Meaning, you done went out here in this world, this thing might have beat you up, drugged you. Sometimes you need to come back home to what's familiar, to what can charge you up. So I was wondering, are we looking at it like this? Kanye didn't have a home to come back to because his mom's gone.
Because you do know that has a lot to do with it.
I don't think he can truly ever come back to that.
And I know because I lost a parent that was very recently. That was like, now that's where I am now in my life. Like I came in a single household daddy, my African American black man, single, raised his daughter by himself.
Wow.
By himself at the age of late 50s. Raised his daughter, brought me home from Texas and took care of me by himself. And I lost him in April of 2019. Wow. And this is where I am in my life. It's like sometimes I feel like lost more than ever now because it's like, you know, I'm looking for that root, that ground, that being rooted. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's home. Like when I need to be rooted and I need to be brought back to how I raised you, what our morals are, what this family stands by. Sometimes I feel like yeah, you got your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, you know, and nothing can like mom and dad.
If a girl ever had one, it's nothing like the daddy.
Yeah.
If a girl ever had one,
sure.
It's like the same situation with a dude that had a daddy, man. Yeah. Like with me, 18, when my father passed away, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It is
a lost feeling.
You almost feel like you floating.
Mm-hmm.
You be trying to tether yourself to stuff, but it seems like the tether just unties and releases when you don't know it's gonna happen. It's like you so used to, like my daddy was always grounded, so it was simple to just be around him and it bring you back. You don't even gotta talk.
Yeah.
You could literally he could be around you, but because his energy is that peaceful,
right,
it brings you back every time. So for me to find that peace now, I got to go in the spiritual realm. You know, I got to have a dream, or he got to visit me, and when that peace come back around me, I know he's there.
And I feel like our politicians go through that. And I think that's why we see a lot of wishy-washy and we see a lot of confusion. But wait, you just said this, but then now you went back and said that. And now, you know, like they have all these people in their ear. And it's like, but like you said, get back with. So I want to go back and you said, do you trade on your people that did not vote for you and go for the people that are invested in you? And now that we're going further into the conversation, I don't feel like, no. I think you should stay rooted also to those people who did not support you because of the simple fact they just did not.